The phone on your kitchen counter hasn't rung since Tuesday, but you keep touching it anyway. You run your thumb along the edge of it when you walk past. You don't plan to do it. It just happens, like a reflex that used to mean something. And every time you do it, a little part of you wonders if today will be the day. You woke up this morning before the sun, with a heaviness in your chest you couldn't explain. You told yourself it was nothing, just a bad night, just your age, just the usual. You got up, you made the coffee, you sat in your chair by the window, and you watched the street come to life without you. And somewhere in that quiet, the weight came back. The name came back. You have been carrying someone in your heart for so long that you can't remember what it feels like to not carry them. I know the name. I know the face. I know every prayer you've whispered and every prayer you swallowed back down because you were afraid of wanting it too much. You have called them your soulmate, though you've rarely said that word out loud. It felt too big. Too fragile. Like claiming something you weren't sure I had actually given you. But I did give them to you. I placed that love in you before you understood what love was. I wove the two of you together in ways you cannot see yet and may not see for a long time. And today, something has been set against them. Today, a trap has been laid along the path they are walking, and the enemy has been very patient in preparing it. The angels have seen it. The angels are weeping over it. And I have called you here, into this moment, because you have a part to play that you don't even know you have. You think you came here today just to listen. You think you found this message by accident. But I have been leading you to this moment for weeks. You are not here by chance. You are here because you love someone. And because love is the thing the enemy cannot stand. Let me ask you something. What did you feel when you woke up this morning? Not what you told yourself to feel. What did you actually feel, in that first moment before your mind caught up with your heart? That tightness in your throat. That dread that you couldn't place. That sense that something was about to happen that you couldn't stop. That is not your imagination. That is not anxiety. That is the Holy Spirit stirring you to pray for the one you love. You have been carrying this alone for so long. You have been strong in front of everyone. You have smiled at church, you have nodded at the grocery store, you have said I'm fine when people asked. And I want you to know, I have seen every bit of it. I have seen the way you sit up in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, trying to talk yourself into peace. I have seen the way you reach for your phone to send a text, then put it down because you don't know what to say. I have seen the way you rehearse conversations in your head that never happen, and conversations you're afraid to start. There was a Sunday afternoon last fall, and you sat by the window as the light changed over the street. The leaves were turning, and the whole neighborhood felt quiet, and you thought to yourself, is this all there is? You didn't say it out loud. But you felt it. And the ache in your chest was so real that you had to put your hand over it, just to keep it from breaking open. I was there. I saw you. And my heart ached with you. That is how much I love you. That is how close I am to the places in you that no one else knows about. Now I have to ask you something, and I want you to answer me honestly, right where you are, in your own words. Can you say their name to me right now, just their name? You don't have to say it out loud if you're somewhere you can't speak. But you can say it in your heart. You can whisper it. You can tell me who it is that has been keeping you up at night. I already know, of course. I have always known. But I want you to say it, because there is something that happens in your soul when you finally speak the name of the one you love into the presence of the Father. It releases something in you. It opens something that has been sealed shut. Take a breath. Say their name. I am not going to rush past this. I am not going to pretend the waiting hasn't been hard, because it has. It has been harder than anyone knows. You have watched the calendar pages turn. You have watched the years go by. You have watched other people find what you've been praying for, and you have rejoiced for them, even while a small part of you wondered why it wasn't your turn yet. You have felt that strange mix of hope and exhaustion that comes from trusting me for a long time and still not seeing the answer. And now, the fear has gotten louder. Because you can sense that something is shifting. Something is coming. And you're afraid that if today goes wrong, everything will fall apart. I want you to understand something about the enemy. He is real. He is not a metaphor. He is not a symbol of your inner struggle. He is a real being, and he hates what I have created in you. He hates the love that I have planted in your heart for this person. He hates the future I have prepared for the two of you. And because he cannot touch what I have planned, he has tried to get to you through fear. He knows that if he can make you afraid, he can make you move. He can make you try to control the situation. He can make you say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, push when you should wait, or run when you should stand still. That is the trap, my child. The trap is not only set for them. It is set for you too. The enemy wants to provoke you into interfering with something I am already handling. Let me tell you about another time, a long time ago, when a trap was set. It was a trap so patient, so carefully planned, that it looked absolutely impossible to escape. There was a man named Elisha, and he could hear my voice better than most. He knew the plans of the enemy before the enemy moved, and that made him dangerous. So the king of Syria decided to get rid of him. He sent an entire army, a great force with horses and chariots, to surround the city of Dothan where Elisha was staying. They came at night. They ringed the whole city. And when Elisha's servant got up in the morning and looked outside, he saw the hills covered with soldiers and horses and chariots of iron. There was no way out. There was no way through. The trap was complete. The servant looked at Elisha and cried out, saying, "Oh no, my master, what shall we do?" And Elisha said something that has echoed through heaven ever since. Do not fear, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Now you need to understand, the servant did not see an army of angels. He saw the Syrian army. He saw the chariots and the horses and the weapons and the overwhelming odds. Every one of his senses told him they were doomed. And Elisha knew the boy could not see the full picture. So Elisha prayed the simplest prayer, one that I still answer all the time. He said, "Lord, open his eyes that he may see." And I opened the servant's eyes. And when his eyes were opened, he saw that the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire. All around Elisha. So many of them that the Syrian army looked like nothing by comparison. The trap had been sprung, but I had already surrounded it with something the enemy could not see. My child, I am not telling you that there is no danger today. I am telling you that what you see is not all there is. You are looking at the Syrian army. You are counting the odds. You are measuring the weight of what is coming against the weight of what you can do. And you are terrified because the numbers don't add up. But I am asking you to trust me the way Elisha trusted me. I am asking you to let me open your eyes, so you can see what I see. The angels are weeping, yes. They are weeping because they love the person you love. They are weeping because they know what the enemy intends. But their weeping is not the end of the story. The weeping is the beginning of the power of heaven being released. I have seen every step your soulmate will take today. I have seen every person they will meet. I have seen every word that will be spoken to them and every decision that will press against their soul. And I have already positioned help along the way. There is a word that will come to them at exactly the right moment. There is a pause that will make them hesitate. There is a stranger who will appear, a person they will never know the name of, who will say something that changes the direction of their day. You have been praying for them with more urgency than you even realize. And I want you to know that every one of those prayers has gone somewhere. Not one of them has been wasted. Not one has fallen to the ground. They have been building something in heaven, a reservoir of mercy, a wall of protection around the one you love. But now I need to tell you something that is hard to hear. And I need you to listen carefully, because you are at a crossroad today, and what you do in the next few hours matters more than you know. You have tried to fix this in your own strength. You have tried to manage it. You have rehearsed the conversations. You have imagined what you would say if you could just get them to listen. You have gone over the whole thing in your mind so many times that you feel like you've already lived it. And some of you have gone further than that. You have sent the message you shouldn't have sent. You have made the call you regretted. You have pushed, and then you have pulled back, and then you have pushed again. And every time it didn't work, you told yourself it was because you didn't do it right, so you tried something else. I am not ashamed of you for trying. I am not disappointed in you. I understand why you did it. You love them. When you love someone and you see a wall in front of them, you want to tear the wall down with your hands. That is a good thing, in a way. That is the image of God in you, reaching toward someone else. But you were not made to tear down walls with your hands. You were made to speak to the mountain in my name. You were made to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. How many nights have you lain awake, running through every possible scenario, trying to figure out how to make it turn out right? You have done this because you feel responsible. And you are responsible, in a sense. You are responsible to pray. You are responsible to believe. You are responsible to speak life. But you are not responsible to control the outcome. You never were. The outcome belongs to me. And holding on to something that belongs to me is wearing you out. Let me ask you another question, and be honest with me. How long have you been tired? Not just the kind of tired that a good night's sleep fixes. The kind of tired that has settled into your bones. The kind of tired that you've started calling normal. That tiredness is not from me. I did not give you a spirit of fear. I did not give you a spirit of heaviness. I gave you a spirit of power and love and a sound mind. And it is time for you to take back what the enemy has stolen from you. You have not lost your mind. You have not lost your faith. You have just been carrying a weight that I never asked you to carry. Now, let me take you deeper into the story of Elisha, because I want you to understand how I move in the moments when it looks like everything is about to break. The Syrian army surrounded Dothan. The trap was set. The servant was terrified. Elisha was not. Why was Elisha not terrified? Because he had learned something that you are still learning. He had learned that my vision is the only vision that matters. He had learned that what he could see with his eyes was not the whole truth. The whole truth was that I had positioned an army of angels on the mountainside, and that army had been there long before the Syrians arrived. The angels did not show up after the crisis. They were already there. They had always been there. The crisis just revealed what had always been true. And that is what I am saying to you about your soulmate today. The protection you need has been there all along. I have not been sleeping. I have not been distracted. I have been watching over them since before they were born. I know every hair on their head. I know every thought in their heart. I know the number of their days, and the path of their steps, and I have already gone ahead of them into every place they will set their feet today. The trap is real. Let me say that again so you don't misunderstand me. The trap is real. The enemy has laid it carefully. But the enemy has never once laid a trap that I did not see being laid. And I have already turned it. I have already turned it into a net for their deliverance. The very thing that was meant to destroy them is going to become the evidence of my faithfulness. You are going to look back on this day and say, only God could have done that. And that is the point. I do my best work in the moments that look impossible. You have been praying for this person for so long that you have started to wonder if I even heard you. You have started to wonder if maybe you missed me. Maybe I already passed you by. Maybe the season of your blessing ended and you didn't recognize it. Maybe you should just settle for what you have and stop hoping for more. My child, I have not passed you by. I have been walking with you, step by step, the whole way. And I have been preparing this person for you in ways you cannot see. I have been preparing them in the dark. I have been preparing them through the very things that looked like they were going to destroy them. I have been stripping away what needed to be stripped away. I have been strengthening what needed to be strengthened. And every time it looked like they were getting further from you, they were actually being shaped and carved into the person I always intended them to be. You know this in your heart, don't you? You have seen the change in them, even from a distance. You have noticed the softening. You have noticed the new hunger for the things of God. You have noticed that they talk differently, respond differently, see things differently. And you have been afraid to believe it is real. Because you have been burned before. You have hoped before, and it hurt. You have trusted before, and it broke. And so you have stood at the edge of this new thing, wanting to step in, but afraid of the water. There was a time, years ago, when your faith was simpler. When you were younger, when you were first walking with me, it was easier to believe. You remember that season, don't you? The season when the church pews felt like home. The season when Sunday dinner smelled like pot roast and your mother's kitchen was warm, and every chair at the table had a person in it. The season when laughter came easy and the future felt like a road you could see all the way to the horizon. That season was not for nothing. That season built the foundation that is holding you up right now. And the same God who was faithful in that season is faithful in this one. I have not changed. The times have changed. They are heavier now, and you can feel it. The world moves with a kind of violence that you never imagined when you were young. People are harder, faster, more dangerous. The rules are different. And the enemy is using all of it, every bit of it, to isolate you and to make you believe that the love you are praying for is no longer possible. But I want to tell you something. I am doing something right now, in this very hour, that is going to make everything shift. I am speaking to the heart of your soulmate. I am speaking to them through a memory they can't shake. I am speaking to them through a song on the radio that makes them think of you. I am speaking to them through a moment of stillness in the middle of their chaos, when they suddenly feel a pull, a prompting, a quiet voice that says, "Call them." I am bringing you to their mind at times you don't even know about. I am making them wonder about you. I am waking up in them the same love that I put in you. You think you are the only one who has been praying. But I have been stirring their heart too. I have been getting them ready for the moment when you finally meet again, or when you finally take the step you have been afraid to take. Now, I need you to listen closely. This is the part I want you to remember when you look back on today. There is a moment coming, and it may already be on its way, when the enemy is going to make one final move. It will not look dramatic. It will look like an accident. It will look like a bad break. It will look like the wrong door closing at the wrong time. It will look like disappointment. But I am going to ask you to watch, because when you see it, you will know that it was me. Do you remember the story of Joseph? I want you to think about him, just for a moment. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. They sold him into slavery. He was taken to Egypt, a foreign land, alone and afraid. Then he was falsely accused and thrown into prison. He spent years in that prison, years that looked completely wasted, years that looked like the enemy had won. Every door seemed shut. Every promise seemed broken. But I was in the prison with him. I was positioning him. I was preparing the hearts of the people he would need to meet. And when the time came, I brought him out, not just to freedom, but to a place of authority where he saved the lives of the very brothers who had betrayed him. Joseph said to his brothers, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." And that is what I am saying to you about your soulmate. That is what I am saying to you about every delay, every disappointment, every closed door. The enemy has meant it for evil. He has meant it to destroy. He has meant it to separate you. But I have meant it for good. I have been weaving it into a tapestry that is going to take your breath away. The trap that was set for Joseph became the very thing that positioned him for his destiny. And the trap that has been set for your soulmate today is going to become the very thing that brings them into theirs. I know this is hard to believe. I know you have been waiting a long time. But greatness is almost always preceded by a long and hidden season. The oak tree spends years under the ground before it breaks through the surface. The gold is refined in the fire before it becomes a crown. And the love you are praying for is being forged in ways you cannot see. Let me give you something you can hold on to. Let me take you to a moment that I have already seen, a moment that is coming to you perhaps sooner than you think. You are going to be sitting in this same chair, or walking in your kitchen, or standing at the sink, and your phone is going to light up. It is going to be them. It has been so long since you heard their voice that you will almost not know what to say. And they are going to tell you something. They are going to tell you about the close call they had. They are going to tell you about the thing that almost happened, the decision they almost made, the path they almost took. And they are going to say, "I don't know why I didn't. Something stopped me. something made me wait. And in that moment, my child, you are going to know that it was not a coincidence. You are going to know that it was the protection of heaven. You are going to know that all those prayers, all those tears, all those sleepless nights, they were not wasted. They were building a wall of fire around the one you love. That moment is coming. I have already seen it. And when it comes, you will understand why I asked you to wait. But understand this too. That moment almost did not happen. I want you to remember that. Because the truth is, the enemy has been working overtime to take that moment away. He has been working to harden the heart of your soulmate. He has been working to fill their mind with lies about what you think of them, lies about their worth, lies about their future. He has been working to push them into a decision today that would take them off the path I have prepared for them. Are you beginning to understand why the angels are weeping? The angels are not weeping because I have lost. The angels are weeping because they feel the weight of what the enemy intends. They feel the depth of the struggle between good and evil, and they feel the preciousness of the human soul. They understand, better than you do, what is at stake. And their weeping is part of my purposes. It is intercession. It is a prayer that rises to my throne with a fragrance that I cannot ignore. But the weeping of the angels is not the last sound in heaven. The last sound in heaven is the sound of my voice. And I am speaking over your soulmate right now. I am speaking a word that is silencing the lie. I am speaking a word that is breaking the chain. I am speaking a word that is rerouting their steps. You want to know what you can do, standing right where you are, in this moment. You can pray. You can pray with authority. You can pray into the invisible, because the invisible is more real than the visible. You can look at the mountain like Elisha looked at the Syrian army and say, I am not moved by what I see, because I see more. And when you pray like that, something shifts in the heavenlies. I want you to begin to practice this. I want you to begin to thank me for what you cannot see yet. I want you to thank me that today, right now, the trap was found and foiled. I want you to thank me that your soulmate is covered, even while it looks like they are not. I want you to thank me for the thing the enemy is not going to get away with. And I want you to do it out loud. I want you to speak it into the room where you are sitting. I want you to declare it, not because declaring it changes my mind, but because declaring it changes yours. Please hear my heart on this. I do not need your faith to act. I act because I am God, and I love the one you love. But your faith is the open window through which the light of heaven pours into the situation. When you doubt, the window gets clouded. When you fear, the curtain gets drawn. But when you thank me, when you praise me, when you speak the thing that is not as though it were, you throw every window wide open, and the power of heaven moves in without resistance. The enemy is afraid of your prayer. Do you know that? The enemy is terrified when you pray, because he knows what I am going to do. He knows that your prayer is the signal for my armies to move. And so he has done everything he can to make you stop praying. He has made you tired. He has made you feel like it doesn't matter. He has made you feel like you're just repeating the same words over and over and nothing is changing. He has whispered to you that I am not listening, that I am busy, that your situation is too complicated, that maybe this is just the way it is supposed to be. That is a lie. Every single word of it is a lie. I have seen how long you have prayed. I have counted your tears. I have heard every plea, every whispered name, every desperate sentence spoken into your pillow. And I have been moved by it. Not because you have somehow persuaded me, but because your longing is the echo of my own longing. I want this for you more than you want it for yourself. I have never stopped wanting it. I have never stopped working toward it. There is a day coming when you will look at the person standing beside you, and you will remember this moment of waiting, this moment of tears, this moment when you did not know if it would ever happen. And you will say, I remember when I thought I couldn't make it. And they will look at you, and you will both know how close it came to not happening. And you will weep again, but this time it will be the weeping of joy. Now I am going to ask you to do something. It is a small thing, but it is powerful. I want you to make a declaration with me. I want you to say these words out loud, or in your heart if you cannot speak. I want you to take back the ground the enemy has stolen. Say this, I release my soulmate into your hands, Jesus. I trust you with their heart. I trust you with their steps. I trust you with today. No trap set against them will succeed, because you have already turned it. I will not be moved by fear. I will be moved by faith. I will thank you for the answer, even before I see it. I believe you. I trust you. I receive the protection of heaven over the one I love. Can you say that to me? Can you say it even if you don't feel like it? Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a choice. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And when you say those words, you are agreeing with heaven. You are standing in the same place that Elisha stood. You are seeing the mountain full of horses and chariots of fire. There is one more thing I want to tell you before I pray over you. I have seen you. I have seen you in the moments when no one else was looking. I have seen you when your hand reached for the phone and then stopped. I have seen you when you sat down to write a letter and then tore it up because you didn't know if you should send it. I have seen you in the middle of the night, sitting up in bed, asking me if this desire in your heart will ever come to pass. And I have never once turned away from you. I have never once grown tired of you. I have never once thought you were too much trouble. I have never once been disappointed in your doubt, because you are still here. You are still seeking me. You are still talking to me. And that is the greatest evidence of the work I am doing in your life. The one you love has been on my mind from eternity. And so have you. I have written your name on the palms of my hands. I have carried you through every season, every loss, every betrayal, every heartbreak. I have collected every tear you have ever cried in a bottle. And not one of them has been lost. Not one. You have asked me why the answer has taken so long. You have asked me if you did something wrong. You have asked me if I am punishing you. And I am going to tell you now, plainly and gently. You have not done anything wrong. I am not punishing you. I have been working in a way that you cannot see, across a timeline that is larger than the years of your life. I have been weaving a story that is more beautiful than you can possibly imagine. And the waiting, as painful as it has been doing something in you that the answer alone could never have done. The waiting has been building in you the capacity to carry what I am about to give you. Because what I am about to give you is bigger than you asked for. It is going to require a depth of patience, a depth of wisdom, a depth of love that you did not have 10 years ago. And I have grown those things in you through the waiting. You are not the same person you were when you first started praying. You are stronger. You are softer. You are wiser. You are more like me. And that is what I have been doing the whole time. I have not been delaying the answer. I have been perfecting the vessel. Now it is time for me to pray over you. I want you to close your eyes if you are able. I want you to take a deep breath and settle into the presence of the Father. And I want you to know that I am not far away. I am right here. I have always been right here. Father, I bring this child of yours before you now. I ask you to wrap them in a peace that passes all understanding. I ask you to quiet every voice of fear and every whisper of doubt in their mind. I ask you to restore their strength, the strength that has been drained by worry and by sleepless nights and by the effort of carrying a love that felt unreturned. Fill them with your life. Pour your healing oil over every wound that the waiting has left on their soul. Father, I ask you to protect the one they love. I ask you to hem them in behind and before. I ask you to lay your hand upon them today and every day. I ask you to send your angels to guard their steps and to intercept every plan of the enemy. I ask you to close every door that should not be opened and to open every door that should not be shut. I ask you to speak the word that will change their course, the word that will soften their heart, the word that will bring them home. I ask you for wisdom for this child of yours. Give them the wisdom to know when to speak and when to be silent, when to move and when to wait. Give them the discernment to recognize the trap before they step into it, and the courage to trust you when the way ahead looks uncertain. I ask you for provision. I ask you to meet every need, every financial need, every practical need, every emotional need. I ask you to be their provider and your faithfulness to be their guarantee. Father, I ask you for a breakthrough. I ask you to break through every barrier that has stood between them and the love they have prayed for. Break the strongholds. Tear down the walls. Clear the path. Let every crooked place be made straight. Let every mountain be made low. Let the way be opened, Father, in a way that no one can take credit for, so that all will know that you alone have done this. Father, I ask you for restoration. Restore the years the locusts have eaten. Restore every relationship that has been broken. Restore every hope that has been deferred. Restore the joy of their salvation. Restore the song in their heart. Let them laugh again, Father. Let them laugh the way they laughed when they were young, with their whole body, with their whole soul. Father, I ask you for family. Heal the family bonds that have been strained. Bring reconciliation where there has been distance. Let the grandchildren know the love of a healed household. Let the children who have pulled away find their way back. Let this child of yours be a source of blessing, a source of wisdom, a source of grace to the people who share their name and their blood. Father, I ask you for relationships. Surround them with people who build them up, not people who drain them. Bring the friendships that will support them and encourage them. And most of all, Father, bring the one you have chosen for them. Bring them across the threshold of their life at the exact moment you have planned. Let them recognize each other. Let the meeting be holy. Let the love be steady. Let the commitment be sure. Father, I ask you for peace. The peace that does not depend on circumstances. The peace that stands in the middle of the storm and says, I am not moved. Flood their heart with that peace right now. Let it wash over them like water over a stone. Let it soak into the places that have been brittle and tired. Father, I ask you for spiritual strength. Let them finish this race well. Let them not grow weary or lose heart. Let them be a testimony of your faithfulness to every person who knows them. Let their story become a sermon that never needs a pulpit. Let their life be an epistle, written not with ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. And Father, I ask you for the soulmate. I take them into my hands even now. I place them under the shadow of your wings. I hide them in the secret place of your presence. No weapon formed against them shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against them in judgment shall be condemned. I speak protection over their going out and their coming in, over their waking and their sleeping, over their work and their rest. I speak life over their dreams and vision over their future. I speak the name of Jesus over every step they take today. There is power in that name. There is a name that is above every name. At the name of Jesus, every knee will bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth. And I am speaking that name over your soulmate right now. I am speaking that name over the trap that has been set. I am speaking that name over the plans of the enemy. And the plans are falling. The trap is breaking. The enemy is scattering. You are going to see it. I have told you so that when it happens, you will believe. Now, open your eyes. Take a breath. Look at the room around you. Everything looks the same. The phone is still on the counter. The chair is still under you. The day is still moving forward. But something has changed in the heavenlies. Something has shifted in the spiritual realm. And you are going to walk out of this moment different from the way you walked in. You have been given something today. You have been given a vision. You have been given a peace. You have been given a commission. And I want you to do something with it. There is a person in your life, someone you see regularly, someone you know, who is carrying a weight just like yours. It may be a woman at church who always seems to have it together, but who smiled at you last Sunday in a way that did not reach her eyes. It may be a friend from the office, or a neighbor who waves at you from across the street, whose marriage you suspect is not what it looks like. It may be a sibling who has been quiet lately, who has stopped calling, who has been carrying a burden alone because they do not know who to trust. I am asking you to go to them. I am asking you to take this word that you have received and give it away. You do not have to preach a sermon. You do not have to quote a scripture that they will be able to argue with. All you have to do is tell them, I was listening to something today, and I felt like I was meant to tell you about it. God is watching over the person you love. The trap has been seen. The trap has been turned. You are not praying into nothing, and you are not asking for something that is not already on its way. That simple act, that small word of encouragement, will be the chariot of fire that I send into their life. I will use your voice to open their eyes. I will use your faithfulness to bring them hope. Because that is how I work. I work through the hands and the feet and the voices of the ones who love me. I work through people who are not afraid to say, I know that it is going to be okay, because God has told me so. You have come back to me today. Do you know what that means? It means you have already taken the first step of faith. You have already turned your heart toward me. You have already opened yourself to the truth that I am still speaking. And that is enough. That is more than enough. I am not asking you to have perfect faith today. I am asking you to have a little faith. A mustard seed. Just enough to crack the ground open, and I will do the rest. I want you to go from this place with a new posture. I want you to stand a little taller. I want you to walk a little lighter. I want you to look at the world around you and know that the invisible is real, that heaven is closer than your breath, and that the one you love is covered by a love that will not let them go. That love does not begin with them. It begins with me. It began before the foundation of the world. And it will still be standing when the stars have fallen and the heavens have rolled up like a scroll. You were made for this. You were made for this fight. You were made for this love. And I am not going to stop working until you see it, until you hold it, until it is so woven into your life that you cannot remember a time without it. The trap has been set. But I have already sprung it. The angels are weeping. But they are also rejoicing. For you, and for the one you love, and for the story that is not finished yet. I have told you these things so that in me you might have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. Now go. Speak the name. Pray the prayer. Believe the promise. And know that I am with you, always, to the very end of the age. Amen. The sun is going to set tonight, and the stars are going to come out, and somewhere in the quiet of your house you are going to feel it. A stillness. A calm. The kind of calm that only comes when you have finally stopped trying to carry a thing that was never yours to carry. And in that calm, I want you to hear me whisper one last thing. I am for you. I am for them. And nothing, not one thing, is going to stand against this and win. Rest now, my child. Rest in the arms of the one who has already gone ahead of you and prepared the way. And let the weeping of the angels become the rejoicing of heaven over a soul that has been saved, and a love that has been delivered. You are safe. They are safe. And I am faithful. Hallelujah. Amen.